What's up, guys? And today we're gonna be playing some Rainbow Six Siege. Or I could just teach you how I made this intro. Alright, so let's take a look at what I have here. So, as you can see here, it's a little messy. It could be cleaned up, but it creates this effect of a 3D layer with, I've got embers and I've got a light effect. We're going to be focusing on creating that kind of 3D space light effect tutorial. So let's go ahead and start. Create a position. And then what we're going to do is we need a logo of some sort. So here I have a PSD of my logo. But you do not have to use a PSD or an image at all, actually. You could if you wanted to. Let's just go ahead. Grab the text tool thing, and let's just go with butts. And all you got, and this would basically work as well, and I'll show you that in a minute. So then what you're going to do is select your logo. In this case, I'm also going to select butts. Go to layer, recompose, and you want to move all attributes into new composition, and you want to name this composition placeholder. Alright, now that we have that, as you can see, everything is put into thing, and at any point we can go back to comp 2. Oh, sorry. Go back to placeholder and change this at any point. And as we change it in comp 2, it'll start showing up. So if I go back and I select that and select that, back to comp 2, it's now that. Cool. So we're gonna stick with butts, because why not? Center this. And now that we have it centered, now we're going to go to a background texture. This one here. You can use anything you want, but this is just what I'm choosing to use. And you can do whatever you want with this. If you want to add a layer effect of any sort. So for me, I might go to color correction if I wanted to change up the colors. But for right now, we're just going to leave it as is. And what you're going to do is you're going to alpha mat it. You want whatever alpha mat to be directly above texture. Alpha mat, and there you go. Actually, while I'm here, toss a. Let's come over here. Make it easy. Brightness and contrast onto that background. Let's bring down. Turn down the contrast. There you go. Then, now that you have that in place, what you're actually going to do is you're going to scale down the actual texture until you can see all the little details that you want to see. So that's about. Then you're going to go effect, stylize, CC repeat tile, and you're going to bring expand right all the way over until it encompasses your logo. Same thing with the left side. Yeah, it's probably just easier to go ahead and copy the number that you have up top. There you go. That encompasses the whole thing. And now I'm going to select background and go. Layer, recompose, and this one's going to be called placeholder texture. And same thing, move all attributes into new composition. And now that we have this, we're going to go ahead and go to effect. Sorry. select your placeholder texture. In the composition, go to Effect, Generate, Light Sweep. And then what you're going to do is you're going to keyframe the center. You're going to move out the end of your composition, wherever the end's going to be. So we'll go with, say about 10 seconds, because it's an 11-second composition. And just going to move this over. And then we're going to do add another one. So Effect, Generate, Light Sweep. That we're going to change the direction to the opposite direction. It's back to the beginning. Keyframe it back to 10 seconds. And we want this one to go all to the opposite end. So then play it. Got two different light sources, and they cross each other, and you go in the direction they illuminate your composition. Alright, now once you have that, we want to make this thing really pop. So, go ahead and click the Toggle Transparency Grid. We're going to go Effect, Perspective, Bevel Alpha. Alright, and that gives you everything a little bit of an edge and a clean cut. And then you're going to go Effect, Perspective, Drop Shadow. Drop shadow in place, you want to increase the distance just a little bit. Let's go with 20. And then you want to increase your softness just a little bit fuzzy. I think we'll also go with 20. Actually, you know what? Let's go with 10. Let's make that a pretty shadow. Then to click on drop shadow, edit, duplicate. Now we have a second drop shadow. In this one, we're going to leave everything exactly the same, except we're going to increase the softness to 80. That'll give us a nice hazy drop shadow on the original logo. Now, alright, so now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and grab a background texture to put back. Scale this down to match the size of our composition. Have that. And then we're going to add this right here, 04 beam kit m.mp4. And we're going to put that right on top. I have a link I'll have a link in the description to where you can find this. It comes as a pack of, I think, 18 or so of these 4K MP4s. What you do with it is you put it right on top, then you go to mode. And you want this to be a hard light. And see what will happen is as it plays, the light effect will come in and illuminate your actual image. You need to scale this down as well, if you want. If it seems to match the look you're going with as it is, but drop it down. It comes in, illuminates your thing. And there's also a bunch of other beam kits in there that you can try out. Maybe this isn't the one. But this is the one we're going to go with for now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I'm going to click on beam kit, go to Effect, Color Correction, Tint. And what that'll do is that'll actually give us, it'll make the light black and white. It'll make that layer black and white. So it's a white light that's coming in and illuminate everything. And just so we can see a little more of our text, go to Transform, Beam Kit Layer, and we're going to keyframe the opacity at the beginning at 100%. Then when it hits full brightness, which is about to hit full brightness, so in about 3 seconds, we're going to edit the opacity down to 60. Nope, that's too much. Yeah, we're going to keep frame it down to about 80. And then wait until the light starts to go away. At 9 seconds. Keyframe, add another keyframe, and then at the very end, max the opacity back out at 100. It'll have the same effect, but we'll be able to see our entire works, all of our logo a lot better. Now, this is pretty much what you're working with. There's other effects you can have, but what we're going to do is, because we want it all to kind of look like it's all one thing, we're going to add an adjustment layer right on top of everything else. You're going to go to Effect, Color Correction, and you're going to add a Curves. Now what you're going to do is go to Red, down just a hair. Let's go ahead and skip forward to where it's the brightest. And with this, you can change up the color to be whatever you want it to be. So let's bring the red down just a hair. Take the green, that down just a hair as well. You're going to do the same thing with the blue. Actually, no. Let's bring the blue. We're also going to bring it down a bit too. And then with the RGB, I want to create kind of an S curve. Take that side and then there. See, this really adds. As you're adding something to the entire thing, it really kind of makes everything very uniform. I think actually what we're going to do now that we've done that is I think opacity just a hair more. It's here, so let's go with 65. Yeah, 65. Same here. 65. Let's see what that looks like here. All right. And from here, you just kind of got to explore and see what you want to do. So, like, for me, some of the things I did was I added a solid, a black solid to match the screen. I brought that under. You want to bring it under your texture because you want your texture to be the forefront. And then to effect, particle system 2, to the black solid. And then what I did was I brought the producer sideways, right down, just below. I widened it to where it encompasses the whole thing. Made it a fire. And then changed the particles to stars. And then I brought the size of the stars down to about a 0.05. Size down to a 0.1. Maybe a little 0.5. .01, that was it. So you want your depth size, because they're I was trying to make embers. You want your depth size to be a little smaller than your start size. So what'll happen is same thing as the it'll illuminate the embers as the light lights up, and it's all behind here, so it gives it a really good look. Let's turn down the velocity just a. Let's go with 1. Change the gravity down to about 5. slow those down. There we go. It's a lot better. All right. And that's just kind of stuff you got to explore and figure out as you go. And also, what we're going to do is we're going to add a lens flare effect. So, go to, that's also going to go on your adjustment layer. So, effect, you're actually going to come over here, type in lens flare. There it is. Add it to your adjustment layer. And right there, that doesn't look super. Let's go ahead and check out what we can actually mess with. So, you have three choices of the lenses of the lens flare effect that you're edit. And we're going to bring this right over here, just off screen, into the middle of where the light is coming from. And then I blend just a hair with the original. A 10% blend. Now here's the issue that we're having right now, is that lens flare is there no matter what. That's not okay. So what we're going to do is you're going to go to the flare brightness, to keyframe that at 0. Then you're going to go to the point where it's at its brightest, so about seconds, and you're max it at 100. Then you go until it starts to fade out, so at about 8:15. To keyframe that again. Then you're going to go all the way to the end. Actually, a second before the end. And you're at 0 again. Actually, let's move this one to about a second out as well. There we go. Let's see how this takes. That looks pretty good, but I'm going to do one more thing. That's what I'm going to go in between these two, and every about second or so, I'm going to vary these up. So we're going to 60, back up to 100, down to 60, because when it moves, when the lens flare effect is increasing or decreasing, you get this little wobble. That's actually a really cool effect, and it gives it it makes it look really dynamic. So if we keep it varying like that, it'll good. Now, last thing we're gonna do is just to animate the entire thing. We're gonna add a null object right to the top. We're going to select everything, and we're going to parent them all to the null object. Then we're going to take the null object and we're going to take the scale, keyframe it, go all the way to the end. We're going to go to the middle for right now, just to get an idea of how this is going to scale. So let's go all the way in like that. And then we're going to move that keyframe. So what you get is a relay dynamic kind of animated deal here. And there you go. Follow these steps, you have now made a volumetric cinematic intro. Hope this was helpful. Hope you were able to follow along. Have a good day.